Ever pondered why some political ideas gain traction while others fall by the wayside? Well, the answer to this intriguing question is often found in the concept of the Overton window. This term, coined by Joseph P. Overton, a thought leader at the Mackinac Center for Public Policy, serves as a metaphor for the range of ideas that are considered acceptable within the public sphere. The Overton window is not a static entity. Quite the contrary, it shifts and evolves with the changing tides of societal norms and public opinion. It provides a snapshot of the political climate at any given moment, marking out the boundaries of what's deemed mainstream and extremist. Politicians, to maintain their relevance and appeal, need to navigate their positions within this window. Straying too far outside can lead to public disapproval or even political fallout. So, the Overton window is not just a concept, it's a tool for understanding political change. Now let's turn back the hands of time and see how the Overton window has shaped the course of history. The Overton window has been a guiding compass throughout history, subtly influencing the course of societal development. It's a fascinating journey, filled with shifts and turns as ideas evolve, adapt, and sometimes even transform completely. Cast your mind back to the 19th century. During this time, the idea of women's suffrage was considered radical and outside the Overton window. However, as activists tirelessly campaigned for women's rights, public opinion began to shift. The discourse window moved, and by the early 20th century, the idea of women voting was not just acceptable, but mainstream. Fast forward to the civil rights movement during the mid-20th century, a time when racial segregation was the norm in the United States. Advocates like Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks challenged this status quo, pushing the boundaries of the Overton window. Their efforts, combined with the rising tide of public sentiment, eventually led to the Civil Rights Act of '64, which outlawed racial discrimination. In recent decades, we've seen dramatic shifts in the Overton window concerning LGBTQ+ rights. In the 90s, the idea of same-sex marriage was largely seen as unthinkable. However, relentless activism and societal changes have since expanded the window, leading to the legalization of same-sex marriage in many parts of the world today. The digital age has brought its own revolutions, altering the Overton window in ways previously unimaginable. The explosion of social media has democratized discourse, allowing ideas to spread faster and further than ever before. This has led to rapid shifts in the Overton window, as seen in movements like #MeToo and Black Lives Matter. As we can see, the Overton window is not static but evolves with societal changes. The window continues to shift and change, reflecting our evolving societal norms and values. It's a constant reminder of our collective journey, a testament to how far we've come, and a beacon illuminating the path we're yet to tread. But who or what exactly influences this shift in the Overton window, you might wonder. The media plays a significant role here. It's a dynamic platform that reflects, portrays, and shapes public opinion simultaneously. It's through newspapers, television, radio, and increasingly the internet, where ideas are shared, discussed, and often contested. The media can spotlight certain issues, giving them a platform and making them part of the public discourse. Think of it as a tuning fork, resonating with the frequency of society's prevailing attitudes and beliefs. It amplifies some voices while muting others, effectively shaping the Overton window by defining what is mainstream and what is fringe. Moreover, the media can also push the boundaries of this window, introducing new perspectives that challenge the status quo and gradually shift public opinion. It's a subtle dance, a continuous give and take between the media and society that influences our collective political landscape. In essence, the media has the power to shift the Overton window, altering what is deemed politically acceptable. Beyond the media, there are more influences at play. The civil society, composed of social movements and advocacy groups, actively participates in shaping the Overton window. It is through their collective action, often driven by shared values or common goals, that the boundaries of what is politically acceptable are pushed and expanded. Take, for instance, the civil rights movement of the '60s. The activists, through their relentless advocacy, were able to shift the Overton window, making racial equality a mainstream political issue. Similarly, the environmental movement has been instrumental in broadening the discourse window to include climate change and sustainability. These groups, by advocating for what was once considered radical or unacceptable, have succeeded in bringing these issues into the realm of political feasibility. They have shifted societal norms and expectations, nudging politicians to align their policies with these evolving standards. So, civil society through collective action can indeed push the boundaries of the Overton window. But what happens when a political position falls outside the Overton window? Imagine a politician, let's call him John, who decides to champion a cause that's currently considered radical or even unthinkable. John is stepping outside the Overton window, and this move comes with its share of risks and potential benefits. First, the risks. John's ideas might be met with outright rejection, ridicule, or even hostility. He could be labeled as an extremist or a radical. His political career might take a hit, with potential loss of public support, or even a failure to secure re-election. He might face opposition not just from the public, but also from within his party. This could lead to isolation, making it difficult for him to get support for his initiatives. There's also the risk of polarizing public opinion. If John's ideas are too far removed from what is currently acceptable, it could lead to divisions and conflicts within society. This can create a hostile environment for discourse and make it harder to reach consensus on important issues. But now let's talk about the potential benefits. Sometimes it takes one bold voice to shift the discourse, to expand the Overton window. By voicing radical ideas, John might inspire others to question the status quo. He might spark debates and discussions that were previously considered taboo. This could lead to a shift in public opinion, and over time, what was once considered radical might become the new normal. In fact, many significant societal changes have started with ideas that were initially outside the Overton window. Think about the abolition of slavery, women's suffrage, or the civil rights movement. These were all ideas that were once considered radical or unthinkable, but they challenged the status quo and eventually led to transformative change. So, yes, venturing outside the Overton window can be risky. It requires courage and resilience, and there's no guarantee of success. But it can also instigate significant societal change. It can push boundaries, challenge accepted norms, and pave the way for progress. Venturing outside the Overton window can be risky, but it can also instigate significant societal change. So, to summarize what we've learned about the Overton window, let's take a quick stroll down memory lane. We started by unraveling the origins of this fascinating concept, coined by Joseph P. Overton. He introduced us to the idea that political feasibility isn't just about the merit of an idea, but also about its alignment with what society deems acceptable at a given time. We then journeyed through history, witnessing how the Overton window has shifted and evolved, reflecting the changing norms and values of society. We saw how ideas once considered radical or unthinkable, like women's suffrage or marriage equality, eventually moved into the window of acceptability, transforming society in the process. We also explored the powerful role of media in shaping the Overton window. Through the lens of various examples, we understood how media can either expand or narrow the window, influencing what is considered acceptable in public discourse. Our journey took us to the heart of civil society, where we witnessed the impact of social movements and advocacy groups. These entities, with their collective power, can push the boundaries of the Overton window, bringing new ideas into the realm of political viability. We also touched upon the potential consequences of stepping outside the Overton window, emphasizing the risks politicians face when they advocate for policies that fall outside the acceptable range. Yet, we also highlighted that these risks can sometimes lead to significant benefits, sparking social change and expanding the window's boundaries. We delved into the application of the Overton window in different cultural contexts, learning that what might be acceptable in one culture might be outside the window in another. Finally, we examined the role of political extremism in shifting the Overton window and discussed how the concept influences public debates on controversial topics. Understanding the Overton window gives us insight into how ideas evolve, how societies change, and how the seemingly impossible can become the new normal.